All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome to Kingdom Radio. We are here live today at this frequency of 94.9 FM. My name is Chris, right here behind the cubicle. Those of you that are watching from Facebook, I would like you to help us to share to your friends. If you are watching from YouTube, you can also help us to share, subscribe, and ask your friends to log on right now and join us on this wonderful and amazing program that we have started. Today, we are going to invite the Brain Box Series, the CEO, the woman that is in charge, Barrister Mercy Ukonu, to come and give us. There is some secret key that she wants to give us today, and that is why I'm asking every one of you to be part. A message, you are welcome to be with us. The hour have come for us to receive this principle that have been hidden right from the day of the foundation of the world. Mercy, you are welcome. Good afternoon, Mercy.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, Pastor Chris. How are you
Yes,
doing?
we thank God. Thank you. I'm so happy to always invite you here because I know that when you are here, our people will be delivered. Today, what would you like to tell the people of God?
I'm also excited being here, and I want to say a very big good. I want to say good afternoon to everyone. Whether good morning,
Yeah.
good evening, wherever you're calling from. And I say it's really awesome. I'm really happy to be here. It was yet another time. Every day that the
Yeah.
Lord has made, and I will be glad. I will rejoice and be glad in it. So, and I thank you, Pastor Chris, for having me here too. And today, briefly, we're going to be looking at the topic titled commitment. That's briefly what we're going to be talking about today. And the word commitment, we know that there's nothing we do in this life without getting committed to it. But first and foremost, we need to understand what is commitment. And we can see that commitment is said to be the act of holding fast to a thing or holding sticking swiftly to a cause or a thing. And it's been said that you can never succeed in life. There's no one who ever succeed in life without adding commitment to discovery and identity. You must discover something about yourself, and there's one identity, something that makes you unique, and that in is what you add commitment to that will bring out the real you and that will bring out the best inside of you. And you need to know that up until the time you pay attention to your work, the world cannot pay attention to you. And up until the time you commit to what you do, the world cannot pay attention to you. Now we need to understand that commitment is a seed, and until you sow that seed of commitment, you can never reap the harvest of accomplishment. And you need to commit to a thing in such a way that it becomes you live for that thing. It becomes part and parcel of you, that you can hardly do without that thing on a daily basis. And that's the only way we can actualize success in life. Now we need to understand that commitment is said to be a thing that brings you honor. And there are so many instances that we can find even in the world and in the Bible. And we can find out that Paul was a man of unwavering commitment. And that's why he said in the book of Corinthians, he said that though I preach the gospel, I do not glory in myself, because I know that necessity is laid upon me, and woe is unto me if I preach not the gospel. Paul was a man that understood the principle of why, the reason, the purpose for his calling. He knew that God has called him into the ministry of preaching the word. Therefore, he bounded himself with an oath that if I die for this cause, but I must see through. I must stick to it. I must bring this word. I must bring to pass what God has brought me into this earth for, which is what? To preach the gospel. And we can find out that even when he was incarcerated, even when in prison, he saw the need for him was to keep on preaching the gospel. He never wavered. He never shifted his grounds. He kept on preaching the gospel. And we can find out that he became what? A success. Now, for you to be a success in life, you need to understand that you have to commit to that thing. And there's never a man who has committed to something and he did not come out victorious, or he remains stagnated. He will keep on moving, changing levels in life. Now you ask yourself that why are you not changing level, or why are you stagnated? It is commitment that will distinguish you. When you do something differently, when you commit yourself to doing that thing that you have set out to do, you see yourself moving from different levels to another, because you have sold yourself out for that thing. And that's why Martin Luther King says something that never ever be found standing still. If you can't fly, you run. If you can't run, you walk. If you can't walk, you crawl. But you should never be found standing still. And there's no way you can move, there's no way you can advance if you don't commit yourself towards your work. Something is in your hand, you're busy, you're in your place of work, in the career, in that discovery, that identity, that thing you've discovered about yourself. How committed are you in doing that thing? That's a question we all need to ask ourselves. And it is commitment that will help you to self improve. Because when you're committed to a thing, it helps you to see the loophole, it helps you to see the areas where you're not doing well. What are the things that I need to do in this angle? How do I need to input? What do I need to do? And it is your art of commitment that will bring it to you. When you're not committed to a thing, there's no way you can see the mistakes, there's no way you can see the wrong, there's no way you can see that you're really trying at that thing. Therefore, we need to commit to our daily work. You need to commit to the things that we do. It is your commitment that will define you, and that will distinguish you from among your equals. Your mates are winning awards. They are calling your equals, but they are not calling you. Something must be wrong somewhere. You need to go back and check your level of commitment in your job. You need to go back and check, how committed am I? Am I really committed in doing what I ought to do? Now, we need to understand that commitment require for you to succeed. There are certain commitments that is required for you to succeed in life. And one of them is that you must stay true to yourself. And most of the time, we need to understand that for us to get the success that we need out of life, number one thing you need to do, you need to stay true to yourself. Who are you? What have you discovered about yourself? And what have you told yourself that this thing is what I want to do? Then number one, first thing first, you need, just like I said earlier, you need to stay true to yourself. And by staying true to yourself, what do you need to do? First of all, you need to define what you want to achieve in life. And when you define what you want to achieve in life, you set a time frame for it. From the time you're going to start to the time you're going to achieve that particular thing. That's all part of commitment. It's a thing that you're supposed to achieve in 1 year and you're achieving it in 10 years. That doesn't show that you're committed. You only show that you're only contributing to that thing. There's a difference between contributing and committing to a thing. Now, so when you commit yourself to your work, you should have a time frame to start and a time frame to finish. And when you have that time frame, then the third thing for you to do is for you to spring into action. And it is action is what brings about the results that you want. And when you spring about that action, is wanting to spring into action, and also another thing, to withdraw when the road gets tough. Now, when the road gets tough, it is that your level of commitment that will keep you going. And your level of commitment also has to do with you defining your purpose. Now, when you stay true to yourself, number two thing that will keep you going is what you're defining your purpose. Now you need to recreate your purpose. What is your purpose for doing that thing? Are you an artist, or in whatever field you find yourself, or the thing that you're doing? What is your purpose for being in that field? Are you really cut out for that field? Do you have a flair for that thing? Do you have something you want to achieve? It is your purpose that will keep you in place, even when all the roads seems locked, even when the road seems as if there's no headway. It is your purpose. When you define your purpose, it keeps you going. Now, we can find so many instances in the Bible. Joseph was a man that was committed to himself, to the purpose for which God has called him, and that is what he stayed true to it. God has shown him that you are going to be a great man. But despite the hurdles, despite the tough, despite the road seem not so clear, so many things happening along the road, Joseph was a man that he sticked to God, and he knew that if God has called me to this, certainly he will bring victory to it. And when we look at also the life of Jesus Christ was a man who was committed. Anything we do in life, we lay our basis on our Lord Jesus Christ. And Jesus Christ was a man that was committed to his purpose, his mission on this earth. And what is that mission? What is that purpose? To preach the gospel and to liberate those who are in bondage, and to set us free, to bring the word of salvation to us. And Jesus Christ stayed true to it, and he was committed to doing the work of his Father while he was here on this earth. And the same thing, that as individuals, there's a purpose for which God has called us. There's a purpose, is something that God has placed in your hands that you are supposed to do, and you're supposed to bring to this earth. Nobody was ever created just to occupy space. Each and every one of us were created for a purpose. Now, by the time you discover your purpose, you discover why you were created, then the next thing you need to do is for you to stay true to it. You stay true to the purpose for which God has created you on this earth. That's what committing yourself. In your place of work, commit yourself. You want to be the best, you need to commit yourself. If you're not being the best, then you need to check the level of your commitment. Probably is based on your commitment, because you're not yet committed the way you ought to. And that's why you're not yet receiving the results that you ought to receive. Now, another thing we need to understand, that we need to keep our long-term goals in place. For you to stay committed to a thing, just like I said, you must write it down. Just like the Bible always said, that to write the vision down, make it plain, so that he that readeth it may run. Now, when you have something, you pen it down. What is my long-term goal? What do I intend to achieve in the next 10 years? And you bring it down to your short-term goal. What do I intend to achieve in this remaining month? Or what do I intend to achieve in the next 1 year? Then you map out your plans. It is your long-term plan that will bring brought down to your short-term goals, that will also, by the time you commit to it, these are the things that will help you to keep you in check. Another thing we need to understand, that we need to turn every of our troubles, every of our terrors into what troubles. So many times we miss obstacles on the road, but how true do you stay true to that obstacle? That shows how well you are committed. When you commit to a thing, commitment keeps you on the track, even when the road is tough, even when the road is rough, even when it seems as if all hope is lost. When you're committed to a thing, those things doesn't bother you. Rather, you see them as a stepping stone to your greatness. You see, as a stepping stone to your success. Therefore, for you to gain relevance in whatever field you find yourself, you need to get yourself committed to that thing in order for you to get your the required results. You can see so many instances abound. If you mention racism, you cannot erode the name of Martin Luther King Jr. because he stayed committed to that cause and he fought till there was victory. So in everything that we do in life, we need to stay committed to it in order to get the results that we want out of it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Messi Ukonu. We have been talking about commitment. Faith Ode, can you hear me? Good afternoon, Faith.
Good afternoon, sir. I can hear you.
The place you are is very dark. Can you put on your light, please?
Thank you. Okay, sir.
All right, Jennifer Cruz, good afternoon. I'm sorry that we have some a network problem, but we have resolved it. But I would like you, we have Messi here. Before we let her go, I would like you just to ask her one question about commitment. And Faith Ode asks just one question, two questions we got to ask her, then we let her go. I don't know if you, she have been talking about commitment. What would you say? What question would you like to ask Barrister Messi Ukonu? Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jen.
Yeah. Hello, can you hear
Jennifer.
me?
Yeah, I can
Hi,
hear you.
Nancy. How are you?
Hello. I'm
Nice
fine.
to
And
see you
you?
again.
Nice to see you too.
Yeah. So, commitment is so important. I've really learned a lot from what you've been saying. So much. I want to ask, there's something they call consistency in what you do. Consistency. So now commitment and consistency. What would you say is really the difference between both of them?
Commitment and consistency. And there's an adage that says that when you keep on hitting on the rock, there's a man that kept on hitting on the rock until he hit on the 100th time. That was when the rock got broken down. Now you need to understand that's the act of what consisting on hitting that particular spot, hitting on it. Now there's no much difference between the two, but the issue you need to ask yourself that if you're consisting, sometimes you might be consisting on something. Are you consisting on the right thing? or you're consisting on the wrong thing. Now, being committed to a thing, like you need to, when you commit to a thing, it involves commitment and consistency. I see them as almost the same thing. But you consist on a thing which brings about what you're committed, because it's your level of commitment to something that will enable you to consist in doing that thing. So you must first of all have that level of commitment that I'm committing myself to winning an award this year. Then you see yourself consisting on the track that will bring you towards that line, into achieving that thing that you've set to yourself to achieve. So you must commit yourself to something and consist on it. Because you might commit that, okay, I commit myself, you write it down, I'm committed, I want to do this, I want to do that. Because a lot of us commit with writing down. But the issue is that do you consist in bringing it to pass, doing every day, putting little by little daily habits, success habits that will bring you to that result that you want in life. So that's just how the two of them can be differentiated.
So meaning that for commitment to be achieved, to be, what will I say, to be intensified, consistency is needed.
You need consistency, because if you don't consist on a thing, you can't get it can't be said that your level of consistency, you need to consist on it in order for you to get the required results that you want. So you sell yourself out that, okay, I want to commit myself towards doing this thing. Then you consist on that track even when the road is bad, because sometimes we quit along the road when we have committed ourselves halfway, and you have broken the chain of your consistency. You're no longer consistent in that thing. Therefore, there's no way you can be said to be a man of commitment, and you have broken your commitment and all that. So you commit and you consist on it in order to get the results that you want.
So consistency is very important for commitment to happen. Thank you.
Consistency is very important. Yes, very important.
It's very important. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Sister Faith will now ask you a question, I think.
Okay. I'm not sure. I don't. Okay.
There she is. Okay.
We lost her. She's coming.
We lost. Okay.
Mercy, before you go, I would like to know about how can people be committed to their discipline? How can they be committed to their discipline?
I didn't hear you, sir.
How can people be committed to their discipline?
Okay. How for people to be committed to that discipline, there are many ways. But you need to understand that first and first, you need to create a successful habit. Just like I said earlier, for you to commit to get the required result that you want, you must create a success habit that you must commit yourself on a daily basis. And another thing you need to know, that you need to be accountable to someone. Because I tell people that there's nothing that you do in life that somebody have not done before you. And there's nothing you want to achieve in life that somebody have not achieved before you. And somebody have treaded that path that you're intending to walk on. So you must have someone, just like in the Bible, Joshua walked the path that Moses have already laid down. Elisha walked the path that Elisha walked the path that Elijah have already laid down. Therefore, there must be someone you're accountable to. As an artist, let me use that for an instance. You need to have a mentor,